Hello, Rakshit.
Hi.
Welcome to Galata Plus.
Pleasure being here.
I have to begin with a little anecdote. I just saw Top Gun yesterday, Maverick, and I was crying at the last scene. When I saw the last bit of your trailer of Charlie, I pretty much knew this movie is going to leave me a sobbing mess. So I'm like, oh my God, I kind of need to be and this is what I expect. Am I right in assuming that this is more of an emotional drama?
It is definitely an emotional drama. Basically, the film is about what are the internal changes which that character goes through when a dog comes to his life.
Right.
So during that journey, obviously there are a lot of things which happen. So he goes through a lot of emotions. By the end of it, obviously it will make you cry, but you will come out with a smiling face. Sure.
Right. As an actor, do you ask for a narration or do you ask for the screenplay?
Both. So I would like
Which
to
you do
this
first?
First is a narration. I want to know the theme of the film in 20 minutes, and there I try to understand what is the internal journey, what my character will go through. And obviously, see, the way I look at scripts has changed in past 10 years, because now probably as a writer also I've learnt a few things.
Right.
So 5 years back, probably I would just see, okay, will my character come out nice? Will my performance will be noticed or not? But now I know as a writer that what is the exterior journey of a character, and what is the internal journey of a character, and what is his personal equation in this journey as well. And so now I look at it from that perspective. So as soon as you tell me in 20 minutes what is the story, I know my character is going through this internal journey, this external journey, and this is his personal stake. So now I look at it that way.
So once that happens, you tell, okay, go ahead, develop the script.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that's how Charlie also happened.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Again, because you're a writer, are you also involved with the various drafts? Because the director said in an interview that it took him about almost like a year and a half to 2 years to write the whole screenplay.
Final draft, yeah.
The thing. So were you all the intermediate drafts? Were you kind of looking at them, giving inputs?
That used to happen because every scene he used to get, for example, someday he writes one scene and he comes and tells me the scene. I mean, he's so excited about the scene. And when he comes and tells me, I know where he's going to fit it. Even if he has not decided where he's going to fit it, in my perspective at least, as a writer, I know where this scene is going to come. And I know what is my journey there as well.
Right.
So I picturize it that way. And obviously, there is always give and take. Sometimes there is give and take. Sometimes probably I give my suggestions and he doesn't want to take it. So I leave it at that.
Right. But the thing is, at every point, you're following the script. It's not like you just say you develop it and then I'll act it kind of a thing. You're kind of you're keeping track of how it's.
I'm keeping a track of it. Yeah.
Right. Especially because this is Kiran Raj's first film, but you've known him since like the earlier days. Kirik Party, he was one of the writers. I think he was also an assistant director on
He was the associate director in Kirik Party. And he worked one among the 7 odds in Kirik Party.
Right.
Also, before that, we did a film called Ricky, where he was an assistant director. That's the first time he joined our team. So he's basically one of the most dedicated and passionate associate director I have worked with until now.
Right.
If you ask Rishabh also, he would tell the same thing, because obviously Ricky and Kirik Party was directed by Rishabh. So Kiran Raj didn't work under me. He worked under Rishabh.
Right.
But obviously, I was a producer in Kirik Party and I was seeing what's happening around, and I was also a writer. So I know that if Kiran Raj comes with the script, he would have given his complete 100% to it. And when he told me the basic gist of the story, I knew this has a content. This has something which can be developed and made into something really nice. The next draft which he came up with was, I was not the actor then. There was somebody else who was supposed to play the role. That script also I had liked, and I had asked them to go ahead. He backed off, and then I came to the picture. So that is when he changed the script and made it exactly what he wanted. Otherwise, there are few things which he wanted to compromise, because we didn't have that kind of a budget for that particular actor. So when I came there, the budget of the film also increased because of obviously the obvious reason, looking at the market value and all. And we know that
you're a star.
No, I'm not saying that. But yeah, so you know that if you are investing so much, then you're sure that, okay, so much you can recover for sure.
Right.
So based on that, he made a few more changes. Although his idea was that we'll finish in certain budget, but it became double. But I was ready for it because the film was coming out nice, and I knew along the way that ultimately I'll be able to do good business with this.
And you got a good feeling even while you were doing the film.
Yes,
kind of like it was coming out well. That you felt that.
I have this very weird belief system when it comes to films. For me, life and filmmaking goes in parallel. I believe that with every film, there is certain energy which travels with me. Mm-hmm. And this has happened with me in Ulidaru Kannante. This has happened with me in Kirik Party, and the way Paramvah Studios happened. And this has happened with me in ASN as well. And now it continues with Charlie. And Charlie, it gives, by the end of Charlie, it gives me a, your belief system is not wrong, kind of a big celebration by the end of it. Throughout Charlie's journey, there was the belief system, which what I believe in, that was showing me something which made me believe that this is going to be something. Also, obviously, I was also seeing what's happening on the sets.
Right.
And since I'm playing the character, obviously, I can't miss anything there. And since I am in the character, and since I am going through an emotional journey as we are shooting, I know if I'm going through as a character, then the audience also, if they connect to me, then obviously they have to go through that journey.
So when you say the belief system, is it a kind of a positive energy, or is it more like a gut instinct? How would you?
So it's both, I think. So see, when I say positive energy, I believe that, like for example, when we are shooting for Kirik Party. It was our own production. I believe everybody in the set they should be happy. Right from the lightman, the production people, and actors, everybody has to be treated equally. Same food. There is no differentiation between them, and everybody has to be respected in the same way. And when that happens, ultimately everybody is working for one project. It's not just the director or not just the direction team which is working for the project, but everybody is owning the project and working for it.
Right.
So when that happens, I have seen the result. When I was approaching producers for Kirik Party or investors, people were not ready to invest 1.5 2 CR on me, because they thought that okay, you have made Ulidaru Kannante and all, but you don't have a market which can cross 2 CR.
Right.
But then our film budget was almost double. But we somehow found an investor, and we got an awesome result out of it. We made almost 5 times the money. And I believe that is not just because a good script. Obviously, that is all important. I mean, to make a film, obviously, good script is important. But also, the kind of energy what we generate while doing this film becomes a major factor too.
And you felt that a lot while making Charlie.
Yes. As I said, that was a climax to my belief.
What is the USP? Like when you listen to a narration, something clicks, right? What was the thing that clicked for you? That you mentioned this thing about the journey, that internal and external journey and all that kind of stuff. But as a USP, what would you say?
I think everybody wants that unconditional love, and everybody is searching for it. Only a dog or an animal can show it. Anybody who has a pet know that as a fact. But somebody who doesn't have it, when they watch Charlie, probably they'll get to know, and they would want to adopt a pet. And especially during this pandemic, if you open social media, there is dog videos everywhere.
Right.
So dog has been the best friend to every family, I think, during the pandemic. Right now, at this present condition, this is my USP. But when I started the film, it was just that, it's a dog film, and this can be a nice subject. A dog coming to somebody who's really introvert, who doesn't even talk to his neighbors, and a dog coming to his life, and that person changing because of a dog is something which nobody has explored, I believe.
Right.
I mean, there is dog film which has come. There are many dog films.
Yeah.
But none of the dogs have come and changed the human being.
Yeah.
So I think that is the biggest USP.
Thing. Okay. Now let's say we both are talking, right? You're looking at me. I'm giving you a reaction. I'm giving you a prompt. I'm giving you this or whatever it is. Or when you're acting with a co-star on a movie, there's a thing happening, right? But when your co-star is a non-human. The process is very different, because you have to be prepared for the fact that the dog is likely to give a good take or a bad take. It's likely to do what you want it to do, or not likely to do what you wanted to do. How did you handle that situation?
So when I started it, I had no idea. If I knew it, probably I would have thought 10 times, before even accepting the project. But when you're acting with another co-star, obviously there is give and take once again. But when you're acting with the dog is not acting. It is basically doing few tricks.
Right.
Because it is taught to do that. And every time I was supposed to be acting with Charlie, I was hiding a treat, in between my fingers. Or sometimes when Charlie had to make eye contact with me, I used to hide the treat inside my mouth. And as soon as the take is over, even if it is a okay take or not a okay take, I had to, feed it from my mouth, I would spit it and so that it catches, so that it knows that next time if there is one more take, it comes from here. So it does the eye contact. So there are many tricks which we have followed here, and where I had to concentrate on my acting as well. So acting, keeping a dog food inside your mouth is not easy.
I swear. So this is like probably a first in the history of acting. I don't know. So
at the last day of shoot, Kiran Raj comes and tells me we are shooting in snow and high altitude thing like that, and he comes and tells me, Rakshit sir, I've got a superb idea for part 2 of Charlie. I'm like, is it a continuation of the same story? Yes, I have this poster in mind, and like, no, I am not doing it. You take Charlie, you put somebody else. I am not doing it. Because we have shot for 167 days. I don't remember any take which is okay in 10th or 15th take. Because as far as I remember, maximum number of takes I would have taken in all my films is like, 3, 4 or 5. Or if there is any technical problem, then 8 or 9.
Yeah.
But this is like 30, 40 takes every day. And we used to shoot only 8 shots or 9 shots a day. There are days when we have shot only 1 shot a day, because the director wanted one particular expression, which he has seen Charlie giving that expression during the workshop. So he's captured on his that on his phone. Now he wants the same expression on set. How do you get it? Charlie's shoot was in a way it was madness. Also, I'm a very patient guy, but Charlie has tested my patience.
But this is fully live, right? I mean, there's no CG work or
there's
whatever.
no. There are 1 or 2 shots where we have used CG. Otherwise, everything is live. Yeah.
Right. What was the hardest thing to crack in the script?
Kiran Raj did everything. So I don't know what was the hardest thing for him to crack. But when I heard the script for the first time, when he changed the script for me, and when I heard it for the first time, thing which I loved the most was the climax, because that is something which he had changed. It was not the same climax in the previous draft. He had linked it to a mythological character called Dharma in Mahabharata. His last final journey to the
Yama's,
the Yama comes as a dog.
Yeah.
So that is something which he had linked, and he had taken the climax to in that path, and that was beautiful. So for me, that was the thing which he changed, and I liked the most. But otherwise, I don't know what was the toughest thing for him to crack.
In movies that have a lot of innocent things like dogs or cats or babies, there is a tendency for excessive sentimentality or cuteness, It can easily go off in that direction, because
Correct.
like you keep cutting to reaction shots and the audience is like, oh, like how did you prevent that excessive cuteness or sentimentality? I mean, you and Kiran Raj, whatever, how did the team take care of that?
I think that was taken care in the edit.
Okay.
Because when we were shooting it, probably Kiran was capturing a lot of expressions which probably didn't make it to the final cut because of that awe factor. Also, there was a kid who was playing a role in the film. Her name is Sharvari, and she's so cute that any expression she gives was coming across as an awe factor. I remember shooting a lot of things which didn't make to the final cut. I don't believe in stopping the director from doing something, because it's his film end of the day, and ultimately even when the final cut comes out, it has to be his film, because it is his expression. Although I am a writer, although I can direct films, I can never do 777 Charlie. That I am very sure of, because I have not gone through the journey what life has taught Kiran Raj.
Right.
That has
It's a separate thing.
It's a separate thing. Yeah. So I completely depended on him because he knew the best.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about Paramvah Studio, which is like, you distributed Garuda Gamana, Rishabhavana. Then I think you produced Sakutumba Sameta.
Yes.
That's again a fantastic film. You've almost become a guarantee of, even if the film doesn't work entirely, there is a certain vision, there is a certain quality to it. You know that people have been passionate about the project, and you know that it's not some lazy money-making exercise. Is this a parallel version of Rakshit Shetty that you want to develop along with the other things that you do? That like this, you want to create an ecosystem where you develop good Kannada cinema. Not that the other cinema is bad, but like almost everybody that you get into this circle of Paramvah, either whether you're a distributor or whatever it is, they're all cinephiles. They love cinema. You can make that out. Even if like I said, even if the film is not 100% there, you can make out that utter madness and passion for cinema. Tell me a little bit about that Rakshit Shetty.
The idea of Paramvah Studios came to me. See, I'm basically from a businessman's house. So probably the businessman in me was always there, although I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to be an actor. So when I came to the industry, I wanted to be an actor. Right. But at one point, when I acted in few of the short films, so that I can make a profile of myself. But none of the characters I played was good enough where I could go and show someone that okay, see, I played this character. Give me a role in your film. It was not that great. So I started writing, short films, right, so that I can play a character in my own short film. I have not worked under anyone as an assistant director. I've only watched films and I've loved films and I've learned to make films. When I started making short films, it starts from the first frame, such and such production, such and such filmmaker, all that. And when I started imagining all that, so that's when the Paramvah Studios idea came out. And I still remember, sitting at my friend's place and I sketching that Shiva's logo myself. From there on, when I started making short films, and then I happened to make Ulidauru Kandante. So when I made Ulidauru Kandante, everyone who's worked under me as an assistant director, I was very sure that I should see something in them where tomorrow they will be a filmmaker who will make films which probably I would like. And obviously after Kirik Party became a hit, then Paramvah Studios grew larger, and each writers, they started writing their own script. And today, luckily, I have a good team. And I'm very sure that anybody who makes the film, it won't be the same. Rahul made Sakutumba Sameta. Now there is one more guy, Chandrajit. He will make another film which is completely his style. Right. There is Abhijit Mahesh who will make his film which is completely more of Kirik Party kind of a genre, and that's his style of filmmaking. There's Anirudh Kodigi who is very weird when it comes to writing. Probably if he makes a film, you wouldn't have seen any filmmaker making that kind of film. It's all weirdos, but still who love cinema, and they have good taste for films. At least that's how I see them. When I see a subject like Garuda Gamana, which is not exactly from my team, but a good filmmaker has made it. When Raj made Ondu Muttaya Kate, I had loved it. Right. In fact, for Ondu Muttaya Kate release, they had tried to contact me, but I was little held up with Kirik Party and all, so I couldn't meet them. But after that, after I watched OMK, I became a good friend with Raj, and when Garuda Gamana was ready, Rishabh had acted in it, so he was always talking about the film. So I wanted to watch the film. So once I watched the film, I told Raj that I want to be associated with the film. I know this film will do great. Even if I don't present it also, the film will do great. I want to be associated. But if you think that adding Paramvah as a presenter will add any value to the project, then let me know. And he was happy to get associated. So we went ahead. So I don't call myself as Paramvah. The whole team. All of us watch the film, and if it's a film which we believe in, then we'll present it or we'll produce it.
I know you said that you started off from a business perspective, but is this also an effort to change the perception that people have of Kannada cinema?
See, I believe every industry should have all kind of films coming there, and probably in Kannada, the films which we are making right now, 8 years back, those kind of films never came. Like when Lucia came, that was very new to Kannada. When Ulidaru Kannante came, that was very new to Kannada. When Rangitaranga also came, it was very new to Kannada. So it started only during those days. Or if you go back to 80s, 90s, there are many films. But at one point it was only commercial films. Commercial films in the sense, that masala films, which I'm not saying wrong. Those films are also required probably because there is an audience who wants to watch it.
Those films bring money to the industry.
Correct. But these kind of films are supposed to be made.
Right.
There are few expressions which probably has to be expressed on screen. And a lot of good filmmakers have these expressions, which is not masala kind, but very real, relatable to life kind of an expression.
But I find like Avanesh Shivanarayana, a masala film, but taken with a very distinct sensibility. So it's not like you're distancing yourself from that either.
Correct.
You're saying I'll do everything.
So I can't make something which doesn't make sense to me. So even if I make a masala flick also, I need to, it has to make sense to me.
It has to be weird.
I mean, it's not weird to me, but...
no, but you just said weirdos, so that's just like...
that's how, in a way it is weirdos only, yeah. And if it doesn't make sense, then even in this shooting spot, I won't be giving my best because I'm not believing in what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm just doing it because this brings money. I believe money will come. If you do good cinema, money will follow. Especially during this time when we have so many platforms where you can show our film. First 30 days it comes in theaters, and after then it comes in OTT, and then it comes in television, and then probably it will come on YouTube also. So there are so many platforms where you can make sure that if you do a film, even if it is made in a budget of 15 lakhs also, you can find your audience.
Now, from the days of Simple Agyo and Love Story to now, as an actor, what are the changes you find in yourself? Are you able to be objective like that?
No, I mean, there is a difference for sure, because the way I understood the medium then, the way I understand the medium now is very different. I see everything in a very spiritual perspective, and acting is very spiritual to me because I get to experience some emotion which from a distance, but I'm still going through it. I'm not suffering because of it, but I'm going through it. That is what I'm trying to find it now. I have reached a point where I want to play characters. If it's an emotional character also, I want to go through the emotion. Or probably Charlie has taught me that, because I was, I was going through all that emotions, but yet I was in a distance. That kind of maturity or sensibility I didn't have when I started during Simple Agyo. Although probably I was doing the same thing. I was trying to go through those emotions, but now I understand it. I understand it a lot better.
Right. The difference would be that at that point, let's say you were pretending to be someone, whereas now you actually try to be that someone. Would that be the difference? Right. Now let's talk about this thing that everybody's talking about, which is pan-India cinema, right? Do you think a film like KGF, the two sequels, do you think they are a one-off? Or do you think they are a sustainable thing in Kannada cinema?
If the content is good, it is definitely sustainable. But at the same time, not everybody is Prashant Neel. Not everybody can make KGF. Prashant Neel has made KGF after doing Ugram, where he has already tried that format once in Ugram. In KGF 2, he's only got better at it.
Right.
So I think bringing that scale, dreaming so big, also keeping the audience hooked and follow up with the story. I think that is a talent. So not everybody can do it, and not every film has to be pan-India.
Yeah.
You might try, you might want to walk in the path of Prashant Neel, but that is not going to happen for everyone. There has to be a particular reason why you want to do a pan-India release. For Charlie, the idea is not that, okay, I've done a film, so let's go pan-India. It's not that. We believe dog lovers are there throughout the country. And after watching the film, we also realize that people are emotional. And if they get attached or travel with Dharma's character, by the end of it, even if they don't love dogs, they will start adopting dogs, which is also good for the society. To get an opening, there are dog lovers who will come to theatres, and once the word of mouth spreads, then obviously, if the film is good, it will do well. So that was the reason why we went pan India. Saptasagara Cheyello, we might not go pan India. Richard Anthony will watch the film, although the film is completely set in Udupi, or it takes off from Udupi, and it covers the coastal belt. I'm not very sure if it can be taken to pan India right now,
Right.
but it has the potential. The way I'm telling the story, it has the potential. So I would like to watch the film and then probably, and also show it to the producers and show it to few people, and then take a call that should we even think about pan India, or we can also think about just releasing in Kerala also, because Kerala is also at West Coast belt. We can cover a lot of places which probably previously we wouldn't have thought about.
And part two to this question is, do you want to be a pan-India star? Which, of course, I think the answer is yes. But what I also mean is that you've become a star almost by accident, in a way that you haven't followed a star's thing of doing heroic stuff and, like dishum dishum and, romance and this and that. You're recognized as, if I may use this word, a kind of an eccentric star. Like if I go and see, yes, Rakshit Shetty is a star, but at the same time, he's got a very strong cinematic sensibility. He's from Udupi, so there's a lot of that flavor in his cinema and like whatever he does. But even if he does an Avanesh Shimanana, there's going to be something very wacky and like different and something's going to be him. But when you go pan-India, in search of stardom, if you will that mean that all those elements will have to be diluted so that,
First of all, I never intended to be a star in Karnataka also.
Let's leave that. Now that's happened. So let's leave that. So,
I wanted to be a part of good films.
Right.
And that I can't compromise on. But obviously, someday I want to do a film like Punyakoti, which needs certain budget. So I need to, and that is my probably the biggest dream until I finish it, obviously. But to reach there, I need to have a surety that, okay, there is certain kind of market which I have to develop. So I keep saying this, that, Ulidoru Kannante was my innocence, Kirik Party was my need, ASN was my learning in terms of, filmmaking. And probably in Charlie and Sapta Sagara Chelo put together, I've come a full circle. And now I want to restart again with Richard Anthony as a child, but with the experience what I've gathered in the last 10 years. If I extend my market throughout the country, I don't want to be called as a pan-India star. If I've done it, I've come from a short film background, where I've started with, with no budget short films to where I've reached here. And probably looking at me, anybody should associate him. If he can do it, then I should be able to do it. And as soon as I become a star, then that association is cut. Now you are a star. Oh, now you have done it because you are a star. I can't. Will I be able to do it? I don't know. Yeah. So I want. If I'm, there are times when I'm dumb. There are times when I, come across a little. Okay, he thinks. Little intelligent or whatever. But I want to be known for what I am. And not as a star or anything. I don't do any of such stuffs, to build my PR also.
So your individuality is sacred to you. Then
I don't want to lose myself for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So if that happens to result in pan-India stardom, that's good. But you're not going to work towards it, is what you're saying.
I'm not going to work towards it, exactly.
Right.
I'm going to work towards a market for sure, because I want to make films
at a certain scale.
At a certain scale also someday. Right. Not all films will be of that scale. I will do films of smaller scale also. But that scale also, if I do, then it should have a market of recovery.
So when you do those films, that's actually what I was coming to at the beginning. For example, Garuda Gamna, it's so specifically set in that particular region. There are other films which have recently, we've seen this Huli Vesha, the tiger dance and all that kind of stuff. You think those kinds of things will translate into a pan-India kind of a thing, or for a pan-India film, you'll have to have a slightly generic, let's say Bangalore-based. Like, see, even with Prashant Neel, I love the KGF too. Like you said, it's a kind of a thing, but it's not a very specific kind of background.
Correct. General,
The talent is in the how he's telling the story,
Correct.
how he's narrating it. But I'm talking about the details are fairly generic. It's not like Garuda Gamna or it's not like Avanesh Manana where there's one texture which comes from a very specific
Correct.
Yeah, so it's not that.
Correct.
So that is something I'm very curious about. Do you think that Indian audiences would be open for a rooted in a particular milieu in Karnataka kind of experience?
So I think you should give them a reason that why should I watch a film which is happening in Udupi?
Yeah.
The story is set up in Udupi, and if it has tiger dance, everything, why should I watch that film? So that's what I'm trying in Richard Anthony, but only once I shoot it and I watch it on screen, then I'll decide if should I go pan India or not. But I have a reason where, for example, see, Ulidaru Kannante was all about many people telling their versions of their story,
right,
to one character, and she noting it down and making it to an article. Now, if this article is in English, or if the one who is writing it down, if she's from Bombay, then probably the whole film can be in Hindi.
Right.
Although they are telling their story in Kannada, which belongs to Udupi, the one who is covering it is from Bombay. So she, since she speaks Hindi, when her article comes, it can be in Hindi, and the film overall can be in Hindi. So there is a reason now why I am telling a Udupi story in Hindi.
Yeah.
So if that is made clear, then people would want to watch. I am watching Narcos today.
Yeah.
Why should I bother about something which is happening?
But then, but you're also a more evolved viewer. Like, it's a sense of, I'm talking about the person who's typically used to watching their language films, right? Which is what most of India still is, because as much as we talk about OTT, the penetration is not all that it's not a deep-rooted penetration.
Right.
It's a good penetration, but at the same time, the hardcore penetration has not yet happened.
Correct.
Which is why I was asking you this question.
But there's always a start. Probably, if they find it interesting. I mean, when I made Ulidaru Kannante, people hardly watched it in theaters. Most of them watched it in pirated copies. So there was a start. On longer run, it gave me what it was supposed to give me.
Right.
So probably in Richard Anthony also, there might be a start. Or in any film, even if you do a film which is very rooted to one soil, but if you want to take it pan India for some reason, probably there is a scope. You never know.
Right.
Once you try it, you'll know.
Yeah. So what is the status of your various films right now? Like, there's Saptasagra, that where you're doing all this method things like putting on weight and losing weight and all that kind of stuff.
So putting on weight and losing weight is something which I've learned, which is quite easy. Last 10 years, I've done that a lot of times. Although it doesn't come across in films. When I was off, or when I was writing, I normally put on weight because every time I get a good idea, I need to go and have a burger. So it's like that. And
that's the secret to a good movie, I think. Yeah.
So once I'm done writing, I'm already then I spend next 2-3 months losing weight. So I've done that quite a few times. Now that I'm doing it for screen, people are noticing it.
Then there's Lord of the Seas.
So Richard Anthony after that, which will start probably in December or something like that.
So is it a sequel or a prequel?
It's a prequel and a sequel, both.
Okay.
So there are two timelines.
Two Ulidaru.
Before Ulidaru Kannante and after Ulidaru Kannante.
Right.
So that probably will go on from December to next December is what I'm planning for the release. But before that releases, I want to, once the shooting is done, I also want to start Kirik Party 2.
Okay. All right. I thought you were going to Punyakoti next.
No, that is my direction, obviously. As an actor, Rishabh will take care of a lot of things. So, I don't have to worry too much. I just have to finish the writing of Kirik Party 2. Which is already, I already have an idea. So once I have the one-liners, then I have my team. If I sit with them for 1 or 2 months, there are people who will come with that one-liners very easily. I will finish that during the post-production of Richard Anthony and we'll start shooting that. And so Kirik Party almost took 3 3-4 months of shoot. That's all. So we want to do that kind of a film, like a very small film, and a small crew, and go back to that, re-explore those memories which we had during Kirik Party 1. After that, I want to do Punya Koti.
That will be a big project.
Yes.
Dream project.
Yeah. I also have one more a project called Midway to Moksha, which probably I wrote it only for OTT then. But now I want to release it in theaters also, because it takes certain budget. But that is also something which I'm very excited about.
Do you see yourself directing a film but not acting in it?
Directing a film but not acting in it is probably someday when I'm done with acting.
Oh, really? That long? Okay.
I don't know. See, Punya Koti, after 1 and 2, I would have set up a world where the series can continue. And I have stories to tell in that world where I won't fit in as an actor. If I have to continue that series, then probably, I have to direct someone else or a lot of people.
Right.
Where I'm not acting, yeah.
Finally, with this parallel ecosystem that you and Rishabh and Hemant and Rakshit Shetty and all of you guys have set up in Kannada cinema today, has it become a viable ecosystem beyond the cities? Because the thing is, obviously the average audience is still going to consume the average mainstream Kannada film. Not that you're also making mainstream films, but what I'm saying is the more hardcore kind of, mainstream films.
Got it.
So has it become easier to pitch your kind of films, this parallel ecosystem that you guys have created? See, I know when Godibana was made, it was like seen as one, oh my God, who are these people? Like, like the strange thing is happening here. But now both of you have come a distance, and has it become easier to kind of...
Definitely a lot easier when compared to last 10 years. 10 years back, obviously, you can't imagine anything like this. So it's easier than that. But I'm sure 10 years down the line, it will be even much more easier, and the market will be even bigger. Every 10 years, there's a new generation of audience also who are coming in.
Yeah.
So that generation is liking these products. That's what I see, at least when I go and check the comments. It's youngsters who are below 30s who are enjoying this product even more than people who are above 40s, at least in Karnataka.
So you see this as becoming a kind of paving a road for the future?
We are doing films which we like to do, that's all. We are not thinking about, but we know this will definitely create a road for the future generation. That we know that. But right now, what we are concerned about is, are we enjoying the work we are...
Right, but indirectly that's also happening, right? Because the more these films work, the more these films get visibility,
correct,
then the more people with a different kind of voice are going to, be able to come out and do things like kind of a thing.
So that is going to happen, yeah.
So anyway, all the best for Charlie, and
thanks
for talking to us.
Thank you so much.